Welcome to another episode of the Perspective Podcast. And I just want to say sorry for the delay. It has been a hectic week. It's been so hectic that I don't even know where to begin. And I know probably could have done another episode last week so that it would be out on Tuesday, but even last week was insane. That today is the only day that I can actually breathe. I can actually breathe. And yeah, just about I can breathe. Just about I can breathe. But it's another episode of the Perspective Podcast. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to the podcast, make sure you like, comment, make sure you stay tapped in, stay tuned into the episodes because we're going to keep growing and we're going to keep going. You're one step closer to where you're supposed to be. Put in that 1% and just keep on going, even when you don't feel like it. If you stay consistent that 1% during the year, you'd increase by a lot at the end of the year and it will be worth it. Even if that 1% is the tiniest amount. Regardless, you're going to keep on growing and you're going to keep learning. You are more lucky or you are more blessed than you think. You are very blessed. And just remember that you're blessed, you're loved, and you're enough. And the first thing I want to talk about, how much I love a good mashup in a song. I was on TikTok the other day and I came across Modern Jam. And it wasn't the original version, it was a mashup. And it was with the Justin Timberlake Sexy Back version. And I was listening to that and I was just thinking, these are the mashups that we live for. People low-key saying that one is better than the original. And I highly disagree because the original is really good. However, the mashup is really good. There was this one guy, I don't know if he still does mashups, Black Mass. I haven't heard his tag in a while, but he carried the mashup scene during 2020, 2021. Like, he was carrying that. I remember when he did one with Gunna and SZA. It was Shirt, but it had the Met Gala beat. Bro, that sounds heavenly. Like, there's so many mashups that Black Mass has done that just slap. They don't have to be slapping the amount that they do, but they just work. I need to actually hear his mashups or if he's done new ones because there's a whole lot of new ones that come out. How do you have the creativity to come up with that? It's very, very smart. And obviously, you got the, BPM of the song, if they have the same tempo, if they have the same cadence or whatever it is. Like, these people, their brains be active all the time because I don't know how they can think of that. And that goes also for just producers or anyone in the creative field. Your brain is always pinging with just ideas, strategies, ways to do things The brain is always moving, it's always working, it's always active, there's always something. And shout out to all you guys who actually just put in the work in. Shout out to every single person. Shout out to every one of you because, it's not easy out here, bro. It's not easy, but I don't know how we got to that from talking about music mashups. But yeah, anyone who does their music mashups, bro, you guys are cold because your ears must be tapped in to the sound or to whatever's being made before people can even see it or hear it. However, there's some mashups that just don't work. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one. When I was in Iceland, was in one of the taxis and he was playing, I don't know what song it was, but it was the ones where it's like one beat and it does a mashup of as many like songs into one. So it'll have one beat but just a lot of songs into one. It was so corny, bro. I could not believe my eyes. It was like the beat that it was doing was the Titanium song, the David Guetta one and Sia. Iceland is a location to go to if you want to just travel. It's cold. That's one thing I'll say. It's freezing. But the aesthetic, the people, the places, the food, the scenery, everything is just nice. It is a really, really good place that I'd actually not stay there, not live there, but I'd actually go there again. While being in Iceland, there was a lot of places that we didn't end up going. However, the places that we went to were valid enough. Sky Lagoon, we went to the church, we just looked at the architecture, we looked at everything other than the Blue Lagoon or the waterfalls. I think if you go to Iceland, you have to go to a waterfall because that's what makes the trip even better. Well, that's the whole point of going to them places because, bro, it is a freezing environment and the waterfalls just make it even better. You'll be standing on a lake that's just iced up, ducks and geese. Is that what you say, geese? Is that what you call a group of geese? I don't know. But ducks, swans are everywhere, like just chilling. The people are handing out bread. Speaking of bread, It is ridiculous how expensive it is there. That honestly, my bank account is hurting. But it was really good to be there. Like, it's one of them experiences that you can only have a few times, and then after you've had it, you're like, you know what, yeah, it's cool. But because of how expensive it is, bro, wow. Everyone there had their money up, and I was thinking, damn, maybe I should live there because why not? But at the same time, no, I don't think I can do that. For my melanin skin, my skin cannot handle that. Like, I need sunlight. I need that sunlight. I was not born for that. I was not born for it at all. I nearly had a death experience while being there as well. So was walking, and obviously it's icy there, but I did not even not even forgot, bro. I was just walking, just normally thinking that it wasn't gonna affect me, bro. When I tell you I nearly split open my head, I trip. I trip over the ice. Shock. I trip over the ice. I had to grab onto my boy, and then I had to grab into this car. And I can't lie, I impacted the car. Luckily, the car did not go off. The alarm didn't make no noise, because if it did, that would have not been good. Tyler, the Creator, he has this song called Run It Up, yeah? And it's like a top tier song, very top tier, especially the intro. The intro of that song is phenomenal. Niggas treat my nuance like it was nuisance. So I was like, fuck him. I did my own shit, and now I'm up, and all that paid off, and all them niggas they peaked in high school. Like, that's the intro of the song, and it's like hearing that for the first time. How old was I? Was I 20? I was 19 when he released that album, and I remember listening to Run It Up for the first time. And this was the age when I was thinking about life or what I want to do, and I still do that every day. And hearing that for the first time was like, damn, like, it just hit me. I don't know if that's just me, but there's something about Tyler's mindset or the way that he goes about his situation that is very inspiring. For example, when he talks about his daily life or what he does or like how much work he puts into his craft, for his own philosophy, his mindset, the way that he does these things is sick, and it's very smart and creative, that you can only have nothing but love and respect for that. To the point that it's been awarded in his music, he's got what, 2 Grammys, one for Ego, one for Call Me If You Get Lost. However, I do feel like he deserves a Grammy for Comacopia, or at least a song from that album, because it's really good. Like, I was listening to it again, and I was just thinking, yo, this album deserves it. And as well, his performances that he does, when I saw him during his Comacopia tour, he can perform. And I've seen him before that anyway, but it was at a festival, and he actually deserves it. I was watching his Camp Flogner set that he did, and Broski takes his shows seriously. Like, he's on his performance in bag. If you haven't watched it, I'd recommend for you to go do so, because it's a sick show. Speaking of shows, Travis has finished his Circus Maximus tour, and finally, because it was getting to a point where Broski was just doing too much. He was doing too much, but of course, it's your tour. It's your tour. You have to do these things. You have to. Like, that's where all the money comes in. And because of that tour, it makes it the most highest grossing tour for a solo male artist. However, for his US tour in the first leg, he had Teaser Touchdown. So is that really a solo tour? And then for his Europe leg, he had Young Lean. So is it really a solo leg? Like, they literally forgot about Broski. But hey, hey, just let him do his thing, you know what I mean? Because there's other people, Kendrick, that, had SZA. There's other artists like Jay-Z who had Beyonce on their, like, joint tours. There's other artists like Drake, 21 Savage, J. Cole, it's 11/11 Make-A-Wish. Circus Maximus was a tour, and he went crazy. So obviously, he started in the US. Then he did the leg 2 in the US again. Then he did leg 3 in Europe. Then he did the leg 4, and that was basically in Africa, Asia. And you can't forget the Australian leg that he did with the third leg, which was actually kind of sick, but he didn't really do a lot of shows in Australia. He only did a few shows, but hey, I really feel like this tour was everything, because this is the first tour after the tragedy that happened, so he needed to get everything in check. And God willing, nobody died. Everyone was alive and everyone stayed, in good spirits. And I do feel like the same way it happened one time, it can't happen again, bro. Like, it can't. Not from him. Everyone came out on the other side alive during the Circus Maximus tour, and I'm excited to see what he has next. Honestly, I hope he takes his time for his next album, because I don't think he needs to drop another album. If he does, well, because Jack Boys 2, I was really keen on it. My favorite of the album is either Beep Beep, Dumbo, but it being the second part of Dumbo because Travis cooked on that. Want to make a little quick break. We have a few things that are dropping. Tomorrow we have Perspective clothing dropping. It's that season. The Perspective brown tee, and then we got the black Perspective tee which is dropping. I wear large. However, the medium can suit you, especially if you're in the 6 foot range. I'll be working so hard on this Perspective tee, getting the designs right, manufacturers or getting samples for this tee. And now to say we're actually here is like, it's a blessing come true because all of this was not supposed to happen. But God willing, like he worked in his miraculous ways, and look at us now. We've got a business. We have perspective, and we have our content that we're doing. And honestly, it does get frustrating. Like every day I'm frustrated at one thing, but then you realize that this is it. Like if not this, then there's nothing I'd rather do. Like this is seriously it because God has a way. God will find a way. And it's just like, why it's taking so long? Like, I don't know if it's just me, but it's like, it's the journey that just can annoy me sometimes because it's like, all right, cool. Like, what's happening now? You know when you're like that capable of like just doing something, but in the meantime, when it's starting, it's like very, very, very draining. It gets frustrating sometimes, but that's the whole love of the game. Clothing, creating content, getting things up on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, but one step at a time, less is more. I can't wait to get things out there. Yeah, it's just a big risk. It's something that I'm kind of afraid of doing it alone, afraid of just going through these things. And, when you pray so much, you're like, please may do well, because we got a family to feed, bro. Like, I know I'm only 23, but it's that realization. And for the first time in my career, right, I was like, are we secure? Like, are we secure? Because anything can happen, anything can go left. Are we secure? And it's such a genuine question because are we secure? Are we secure? Because it can be so gut crushing that it's like, damn, what is going on here? And it really does have you second guessing what you're doing or what you want to do. But that perseverance is what takes you far. It's being put into fruition. That all I could just say to you who's watching this is just to keep going, just to keep going. And it's easier said than done because you never know what's going on in anyone's life, but it can be so frustrating. But hey man, we gotta keep moving. Spotify Wrapped still has not dropped, and usually they drop either this week or next week, and I think it's gonna drop on the Monday because why would you do that on a Friday? I mean, why wouldn't you do it on a Friday? But I do have a feeling that they're gonna drop it at either tomorrow or Monday. Honestly, my Spotify Wrapped this year is going to be all over the place. I mentioned this earlier, but I do feel like my Spotify Wrapped artists, in no order, will have Sam Fender, Miggy, Drake, Travis, and there's someone else, Jordan Welch. Yeah, those will be mine. No, actually, I take that back. Palace. Bro, I've been listening to Palace so much. Their music is so good, bro. Like, if you haven't heard Palace, right, I'd recommend for you to go do that. Especially their song All Is On My Stride, something like that. Or listen to the album So Long Gone, So Long Forever, sorry. Listen to the album So Long Forever because it has not one miss. It's mainly chill, it's indie, it's alternate, it's different to what I usually listen to, but it just sounds good. It's mad how as you grow older, your music taste can just change and you can be influenced by just different sounds that you can hear. And yeah, I feel like one of the best things that you can do is just to keep improving your music taste or expanding your taste in music. Was never really a fan of indie. Took it in. I was like, you know what, this is sick. I don't really listen to dancehall, I'll be honest. I think that genre is it's a hit or miss to me, man. Like it's a hit or miss. It's a major hit or miss to me anyway, that I just can't take it serious. But I appreciate that genre. It's cool. It gets my respect. Respect. She would have checked before the neck. Respect. I was with Mumsy yesterday and then we were just having a conversation about life, and the main thing that she told me was was about wisdom. Wisdom is so important in life. That's one thing that I lack on. Wisdom. I'm not the wisest. There's so much to learn from, and it can be difficult sometimes because you want to follow your own path or your own desires. Wisdom comes from age. You can read so many books. You can listen to so many podcasts, watch so many podcasts, but there's no better teacher then life. Things are only going to get better. And as long as you realize that nothing will come against you, like one day at a time, you just gotta keep going and just stay wise. With age, you just gotta stay wiser. These 20s in our life are low key the years where we will not be the wisest. We make a lot of mistakes, but we've got to be smart with how we do certain things, and I'm still learning on that. I'm on the path of learning wisdom, or just learning because it's important, and I do lack in that sense, but you just gotta keep going and just stay ready because anything can happen, anything can change, and as long as you got that grit inside of you, you will always go up no matter what situation. My mom always says when you're in a situation where someone's speaking to you or asking you a question, don't be so quick to reply. In your head, like just give it 5 seconds for it to register and then say something, because we can be so quick to speak on emotion. Sometimes it's just best to just not. And it's weird because when you're playing like a game, say for example like GTA or something, and then it's like the story mode, and then when someone asks you a question or something and then you take time to reply, literally that is the way forward. It's the art of loving. Music that I've been feeling to listen to so much recently, it's still Olivia Dean. Like, her music is fire. I'll be listening to a lot of her music. Be listening to a lot of Daniel Caesar. When I was in Iceland, that album there was the soundtrack the whole time. Was running to the church in Iceland. I forgot what the church is called, but it's like it's a major one. It's a big one. So I get there now and I'm just like praying. And I quote one of Daniel Caesar's lyrics from the album, Son of Spurgey. The first line is, "Lord, let your blessings rain down." And as we were leaving to go to the airport, it just started raining heavily. And me personally, I don't believe in coincidences. But when things like that happen, I don't. Like, when things like that happen, it's like, it's confirmation that, something is happening or being heard, because it was not raining. Like, it was raining, like, couple hours back, but it weren't on that type of timing that it really just makes you think like, damn, okay, something may be happening here. Another artist that I still being in my rotation, Sam Fender. I'll be listening to Sam Fender so heavily that he will literally be one of my top artists. And bro, the song that I've been listening to quite recently is Last to Make It Home, Remember My Name. That song there, the outro of People Watching, I wasn't keen on that song when it dropped because, I don't know, it just wasn't for me at that time anyway. And then I was listening to it again and I was thinking, this song is amazing. The instrumental is fire. Everything about this song is fire. Like, it's a phenomenal song. It's fire. Like, man, you have to... If you haven't listened to Sam Fender's music or like he's taken in his album, any album, I'd recommend to listen to his second album, which is 17 Going Under. That's my favorite album from him. And it is packed with nothing but hits that I don't know what he was on when he made that album, but he did something. He did something and it cooked. It did not miss, but it's a top tier album that you have to listen to. That during the time I was not even tapped in. I didn't even know who he was. But now, like, that's the guy, bro. Like, he is him. As we move perspectives and grow, I just want to make a promise that every week there's always going to be a new episode, or there's always going to be something happening. And with that comes with discipline. And on the topic of discipline, it's like life, bro. Life can throw you so many things, but you've got to stay disciplined. Discipline is when you have that delayed gratification on the other side. Because you know that when you keep your head focused, your head screwed on, it's like it has you in check with the way that you want things to go. And there's nothing better than having that discipline there. When you have that one goal that you're trying to work towards, when you have that one thing that you're doing or that one thing that you're working on. And say, for example, you have a marathon coming up. You need to continue to keep running. You need to do 30Ks, a 30K run, or just continuous runs during a week. Just consistent, that's what matters, the consistency. Creating content or doing anything you want to do, like, you have to stay consistent with it. That's why I mentioned at the start, that 1%, like, discipline really carries. And if you have that love for that one thing, it will set you far, because that's the one thing that not a lot of people will have. Everyone has different and unique paths to go on, and as long as you stay true to your thing that you love to do, or that thing that sets you off, run with it, because it's a blessing. It's a major blessing. And discipline can be difficult sometimes because, sometimes that you just want to do something else. but you know you have to do this one thing, and you know that it will help you long term, but you still don't want to do it. Those are the most important times. Discipline is having that self respect, even in the slightest, because it works long term. If you don't, then my mom says, like life will humble you in the sweetest way to the point that you just have to go backwards and then you have to get yourself back up. And I feel like I've been very humbled, but it's the journey in this life and you just have to keep going no matter what. And I want to talk about a few people that I'm inspired by. Firstly, God, the major God, God. I read the word every day. Like one thing I'll always say, if you're not religious, write on your journal. Like I say it every time, write on your journal because it goes a long way. Writing down things that you're thinking, it really does have your mind at peace. It lets out everything, every burden. It should not take that long. It does not take that long either. But writing things down is very clear on what you like because there's something pure about it. And especially doing voice memos, there's other people that I'm inspired by. For example, I've said this numerous amount of times. George Heaton, the owner of Represent. There's something about him that's different to all the brand owners or all the people that I watch or that I see. George Heaton is one of them. And then you have Clint 419. I'm really inspired by fashion or just inspired by brand owners because they took that chance, they took that risk, and they took it far. I'm very inspired by that. And Clint 419 is the most straightforward thing you ever get. He's literally the definition of Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Like, he literally is that type of person. And it's sick because you don't really get a lot of people that are blunt or straight to the point. And he's one of them. He explains his reasoning. He explains his mantra. He explains his mindset or what you should be doing or how things work in his way. Not in his way, but how he does certain things and then just leaves it at that. Sometimes you don't need too much information and it can be a bit misleading, but when you have that one person that's just straight to the point, it makes everything work. It makes everything better. Another person, who am I inspired by? My mom. Single parent, raised her 2 children. She took a risk coming to the UK. She did everything on her own. Of course, had my aunties and the people that were here, but it was mainly me, my mom, my sister, growing up every day. Mom would work 2 jobs every day. She'd do so much that I'd barely see her in a day because she's always working, but I'll see her during the night. At that age, you don't really know what's happening, but as you get older, when they explain things or what was going on, like, you realize that they went through the gutters. And I was talking to my friend the other day that I was like, how selfish am I to be complaining about little things when we never had to go through these things that our parents had to go through. Bro, they do so much for their children, and all I could just say is thank you to my mom because she's done so much. And I know that, like, I'm not perfect. I'm very all over the place. I sometimes do too much in terms of a risk, and I'm very grateful to have my mom as just my mom, my best friend, and just someone that I can just speak to about everything because we get that. I'm inspired by my sister. I've got a nephew. He's nearly 1 year old and he's in a house filled with love. And I'm certain that as my nephew grows older, he'll appreciate those moments. And it's crazy how fast a year can go. But yeah, shout out to my nephew, man. He's him. And shout out to my boy at Villa. Yeah, because we went to the Villa store yesterday and we did a shoot with Adidas and Aston Villa because obviously they have a partnership. And to work with them on a campaign was once in a lifetime experience that was had. Literally got to have a wardrobe, literally do everything we could in our outfit, and I'm grateful that we got to do that. And it's major to have that impact. It's nice to have people that are around you, and it's nice to just be able to be in them environments to have a shoot with Adidas, bro. These things don't happen. Like, this week has just been a frustrating, blessing, pressurous week. And it makes you realize that when you have a lot of pressure going on, something is happening because when you go through a lot of pressure is good. It means you're on the right path to something. When you don't have pressure, you're complacent. It's a test to see if you can actually handle it. And of course, we all fall short. I do. I'm not perfect at all. Like, I make so many mistakes. And one thing that I want to start doing is during their mistakes, I want to document that. I want to start posting more of the problems that I go through, because man, it's not easy, bro. Like it's not easy. And if I'm gonna do that now, what's one problem that I'm going through? Financially. Yes, financially. This whole year been going through a whole financial crisis. You know, going all in with creating content. Yes, it's good, but on the other side, it's like it is difficult to just get by and it's not easy, but you know, just praying, working my bar job on the side because it's part time. You know, I'd rather use my time on something else, and then go on perspective, like putting money into that. Like, it's so much. It is difficult. Like financially, as is actually a problem of mine, and I may not be the wisest when it comes to saving, but you know, it's yeah, and I'll admit that. Like, yeah, I make a lot of problems with that, but you know, it's okay. And also, another problem that I'll be going through as a creator or just as a person, I don't know if it's just me, but there's a lot of false hope. You know, you get emails, you get opportunities by all these agencies, by all these things and all these whatever, and it all falls short. And it frustrates me because it's like, damn, if only, you know, if only that one thing could happen because things would just take off. But we're not doing a sub story here. You know, we're not doing no sub story. We are not. Loyal Kana recognized us in the crowd when we got to see him. Bro, seeing Loyal Kana was a top tier show. Like, I genuinely love seeing Loyal Kana. That I'm going to have to see him more. You know, went to his Birmingham show. Shout out to my guy Charlie because he was the one who had the spare ticket. So, we got to see Loyal Kana, right? And, bro, firstly, I want to say, anyone who we saw or anyone who saw us, next time if you see me, you can say hello. Like, I know in the comments everyone was saying that I'm tall. Yes, I was also wearing Timberlands, you know? Like, they have some inches. Like, I'm 6'3", but those make me look stupidly, ridiculously tall. But anywho, that is besides the point. Yeah, if you see me, do not be afraid to say hello because I'm just a normal guy. You know, it was a sick experience to be there. We wore the Latin Place t-shirt during that show. I kept shouting for him to play at Latin Place. Usually when I'm at concerts, I'm not that guy to just be screaming, especially when it's quiet. You know, when it's quiet, I'm that type of guy when someone shouts, I'll look at them and be like, what the fuck you doing? But I was like, you know what? I'm willing to embarrass myself because, hey, if he plays it, which he did, you know, I'll be on top of the world. So it's like, it's things like that that really makes things better. Like, very grateful to see Loyal Kana, grateful to talk to his team and just to be there regardless. And I think I stunk it up because someone messaged me, right? And I think it's one of Loyal Kana's like boys or something. And he was like, they asked me a word, this is not word for word, but they were like, are you part of Ben's team? And I was like, and blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking in my head, who's Ben? Like, who the fuck's Ben? I don't know who Ben is. I don't know who Ben is. Little did I know that Ben is Loyal Kana's, like, name. I took a L, bro. That's like someone asking me if I'm part of Aubrey's team, aka Drake. And we're like, I don't know who Aubrey is. Like you know how, oh, bro. But hey, yeah, that's how you know how not tapped in I am to like this type of stuff. I'm new to this, but yeah, I genuinely thought that Loyal Kana is his name. It probably is. I don't know, but yeah. Loyal Kana was a good show, and I'd recommend for you to see him. He has a show next year, and it's a festival headline. We may have to go. This is very random, but I feel like I'm just shadow banned on TikTok or something because I don't know what's happening and it's very frustrating. It's really annoying me. But, you know, we gotta keep the momentum going. We're not stopping because it's only going up. When these things happen, something is happening and nothing is gonna stop us. Nothing. Because we're all the way up. We're all the way up, bro. Like, nothing is ever going to stop us. But yeah. Perspective, we are dropping, and I'm going to show you the tee. This is the black t-shirt, right? This is the black tee that we have here. Yeah, I love this one. Waffles t-shirt, fire. Would you look at that, bro? Would you look at that? It is flames, bro, but yeah, Perspective clothing drops tomorrow. Do not forget it. Do not miss out because it's dropping. Dropping on your head top. Bombs on your head top at all times. At all times. I may be tired, but the tiring is what makes things go forward. It's what makes things worth it. Perspective dropping tomorrow. Make sure you go grab a t-shirt. Make sure you go grab a t-shirt. £35 for the brown, 45 for the black. We're going to keep applying pressure because that's all we're going to keep doing. If we don't apply pressure, none of them tees are selling. If we don't apply pressure, everyone will keep playing with us, and we gotta tell the game, the industry to stop playing with us. Tell the game to stop playing with us. Yeah, have that confidence. Have your chest out. One of my favorite lyrics here is Jack Harlow. It's what song is it? Nail Tech. Yeah, it's like walk around my chest out, my skin smooth. I'm healthy. Facts, facts. I don't wish on my success. I speak it. Facts. Like, bro, have that song that gives you the confidence because you need it. In a world that is filled with people that will drain your energy, you need it because wow, it's a draining world we live in. But yeah, anywho, episode 45 of the Perspective Podcast. It was all over the place, but I've missed talking to you. At the start of the pod, I'll be honest, I was a little bit tired. I was a bit drowsy. You can probably see that. But hey, we're here. We're still present. We're still alive and well. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I hope you get a perspective tea. And if you do, make sure you tag me in the pics or something.